Hey guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on my striped chevron blanket that I finished a few days ago. I started knitting this blanket towards the end of February and I just finished it about 5 days ago. So it took me a little less than a month to finish knitting this. There were days where I knit for quite a few hours in the day, and then there were some days where I didn't actually even get to the blanket. So it took me on average about 10 minutes or so to knit up a row. So if you're trying to figure out the time it might take you to knit something like this, of course everybody's speed is different, and some of you may be faster knitters, some of you may be slower knitters. So to me, it's just the journey of knitting, the joy of knitting, which just gives me joy and gives me happiness. So it doesn't matter how long it takes. I think at the end of it, you end up with just a nice product. So just wanted to mention one key point that I noticed when I was making this blanket. So my blanket ended up being 36 inches wide and about 48 inches long is what I made it. And I ended up using 3 skeins of this Karen Big Cakes yarn, and each of these skeins are about 300 grams or 10.5 ounces. Now this one that I'm showing you is not the same colorway as I used here, but the one point I wanted to make was, when you're knitting and you finish one skein and you're ready to join the next skein as you're working on this, let's say you finish your skein, or your skein is going to end on this row where you're at this shade of blue, and then you're ready to join the next skein. Your next skein might be one where it's starting with a dark shade of blue, like the start of the skein is a dark shade of the blue. Or maybe if you're one of those who pulls the starts from the skein from the inside part of the skein, maybe it's starting off with the darker blue shade or something, and you don't want that. You want the shading, the gradation of the shade to continue to be even throughout the blanket. So if you notice that, if that's the case with your skein, then just take out or don't use that part of the skein. Just keep unrolling or unraveling the skein until you get to the point where it would be the start of the color that you need, and then join your skein at that point. And you can reserve the rest of that yarn that you've taken out. Perhaps you can use it later on in the blanket, but then that way you'll make sure that you're getting the right number of rows for each of these patterns here. And so just wanted to make that point. And the way it works out is, after in this particular colorway, after the grays, the dark blue starts and it goes on to like a lighter shade of blue. So I ended up with where I started with a darker shade of blue on one end, and then my other edge ends up being a lighter shade of blue, just because I kind of continued that same gradation, and I was fine with that. If you didn't want that, you can certainly change it up, and at this point you can get a darker shade of blue and just do that a little bit if you wanted your ends to match over here. But throughout, though, as long as you follow that tip, it should match up for the sizes of the pattern. So just wanted to share that little tip. And I didn't need to block this blanket. It lays pretty flat, and actually already started using it, so you might notice some cat hair on there. My cats absolutely love this blanket. So hope you give this one a try. I've included the link to my video on this blanket, as well as my link to joining yarn, because you will need to join or work with at least 3 skeins of yarn if you want to make this blanket this size. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment in the comments box. If you want to see more videos, please subscribe to my channel, Knittycat Knits, and any ideas, suggestions are always welcome. As always, thanks for watching and happy knitting.